I wanted to shoot a video today to encourage all of our reps and our customers and anyone who is in leadership in the lighting industry. First, I wanted to say thank you to our customers that have been asking how we're doing. We're doing well, thank you. We have 11 factories we work with in China. All 11 of them are open, shipping product. Our stock levels are good, and our staff is healthy. Of course, many of them are working remotely, but we do have essential staff coming up to the office, and we are shipping products. So wanted to say thanks for asking. These are unprecedented times, and it's a time for leaders to stand tall and to encourage those that we lead, to bring calm and peace to them and wisdom to the current situation. The people that are around us are looking for leaders that can help guide them and navigate through this current situation. And so I felt compelled to shoot a leadership video to talk about 3 leadership principles that can help us during these tumultuous times. The first one is that we need to remain calm as leaders and exercise a lot of wisdom. And I say that because these are anxious times. And in anxiety, what happens is our reactions just go up, and our thinking about how we're reacting goes down. We're not making necessarily good decisions if we're operating out of fear or panic, or we're just kind of shut down. And so we need to hit the pause button on our own anxiety and really examine what we're thinking and the decisions we're making. The other thing is we want to be leaders that can walk into an anxious group, which is just about all of the groups these days are on the social media and just anxious with what's going on. We need to be the type of leaders that can walk into a situation and the anxiety level goes down because we're present, not an anxious leader that comes in and helps spin everyone up even more. And the reason we want to be calm as leaders is because it's only in those quiet moments when we're not being anxious and not being fearful that we can think through what are our guiding principles, what are our convictions, what are the things that guide how we normally make decisions. So we're not just reacting, we're not acting out of fear, but we're acting out of our guiding principles. And so I'll share with you some of the guiding principles that we're operating on right now. One of them is we always take care of our people. And so at a time when people want to pull back, we're actually paying people to stay at home. Our cleaning lady is quarantined at home. We're paying her a full salary. We have warehouse workers that are at home. We're paying them a full salary. We are going to take care of our people during this time. Another thing is we pay our vendors on time. And so that's just a matter of integrity for me. I figure if we're going to expect our customers to pay us in 30 days, we should pay our vendors in 30 days. It's just a matter of integrity. But during these times, what I find is business leaders want to pull back, especially financially, and they'll string their vendors along. And I told my bookkeeper, we will not do that. We're going to pay our vendors, and we're going to pay them on time. It's also a time to be generous. And I know that during these times it's easy to want to hold back on our money, and yet it is hard times for a lot of people, and it's a time to be generous for those, especially those that are vulnerable. I called the owner of my CrossFit gym and I told him I'd continue to pay my monthly dues as long as I was able. We send in donations to the church. I've got 2 friends that own local restaurants, and it is hard times if you're in the restaurant business. And so we do a lot of takeout there, and we always leave them a generous tip. And so as leaders, we need to be calm, and we need to exercise wisdom. We need to make decisions out of our guiding principles. That's the first point. The second one is we need to tell the truth. And so we need to be wise to the times. We need to understand what's going on. And let me just tell you, people will not follow you if they don't sense you're shooting straight with them. And so before I ever talk to my staff about our response to what's going on currently, I would always spend time on the CDC website and the Johns Hopkins website and just understanding exactly what's going on currently. Because I wanted them to know that the decisions we were making were with the wisdom of understanding what was going on, and I didn't protect them from that. I was always very truthful with them about this, the truth of the situation that we're in. And so we need to be truthful, but we need to be calm about that as well. And the third thing is, and you might think I'm crazy, but this is a time to advance. I think as leaders, we can really capitalize on the divine pause that some of us are going through right now. And let me just stop for a second and say, some of you might be in dire situation. You might have a showroom with no customers, and you don't know how you're going to make the next payroll. And I will just tell you that I have been there, and so you have a lot of compassion from me for that. But unless your situation is dire, I would challenge you to think through how you can advance during this time. And I'll just share with you some of the things we're doing. First of all, even in my own family, I've got small kids at home, and there is no school. There's no sports in the evenings. There's no Wednesday night church. There's no after-school activities. And I'm coming home, and we are having a blast, actually. We're bicycling through the trails. We're popping popcorn and watching Star Trek movies. We're playing gin rummy. And I think it's important, given the anxiety of the times, that we would show our families a lot of care. I would challenge you to think through how you can improve personally, what enrichment things you could be doing for yourself. What book have you wanted to read that you haven't had time? What educational video series can you watch? What can you do to become a better spouse, a better employee, a better parent during these times? And then the third thing I want us to think through, and this is what I've been doing with my leadership team, is how do we become a better business? This is the season that we're in, and I say that to encourage you because it will end. I don't know when, 3 months from now, 6 months from now, but we will emerge a better company for this time, and I'm encouraging you to do that as well. I started talking to my leadership team about 3 or 4 weeks ago. I said, if we do get a divine pause in our business, and we've got a little bit more space to think, what are the processes we need to think through? What are the systems we need to invent? What are the conversations we need to have? What is the education that you've been wanting to get to that you haven't had time to look into? Better inventory controls, better operational systems. I had one of my staff members put together a whole list of resources for our team to go through. How the eye works, color temperature, color mixing, a basic series on electronics and electricity. If you haven't heard, the American Lighting Association is giving away free online courses that you can take. We go through our staff, through books with our staff. Every Friday we get together for lunch, and we'll read a book, and so every Friday at lunch we'll go through a chapter and discuss it. And of course we're not meeting anymore. And so everyone this last Friday sent me, right now we're going through Traction Chapter 5, everyone sent me a half page to a full page summary of Chapter 5, what it said and their response to it. So we are going to continue to educate ourselves and to become a better, stronger company for that. And let me tell you, we're in good company. There is a list of famous people that have gone before us and through very hard times advanced their cause, and times very similar to this. Sir Isaac Newton, 1665, it was the Great Plague of London, and he was a student at Cambridge at that time. And so they shut the school down, they sent everyone home, much like they're doing today. And so he went home, which is about 60 miles northwest of London, and he was there, and that's where he started developing a lot of theories. And by the way, people that look back on that year that he was in quarantine call it the Year of Wonders. During that time, he started writing down all of his theories about math, which has become the foundation of our modern day calculus. He got intrigued with light and drilled a hole in his blinds and put a prism up to it, and then started working on his first theories on optics. And then outside that window where the light was coming in is the famous apple tree, where he discovered gravity and started writing his theories about gravity. It was a wonderful year of advancement. And this is a time when there was no internet, there was no online classes, there was no cell phones. It was him and some books, and it was an amazing time. Shakespeare wrote King Lear while he was in quarantine. John Bunyan wrote the famous Pilgrim's Progress while he was in jail, so he was in isolation. The Apostle Paul wrote a lot of the New Testament while he was in isolation when he was in prison. So this is a good time for us to advance. Let me just say, this is a very unique time. And this is an opportunity for leaders to stand strong and to lead well through the chaos and through the anxiety. This is a time for us as leaders to be courageous and not fearful, to operate out of our guiding principles and not out of fear. It's a time to advance and not pull back. It's a time to be generous and care for those around us, and not be preoccupied with our own needs. And so I wanted to shoot this video because I wanted to encourage you as leaders to join me and to be a leader that is a light during a dark time. Thank you.